Kirill, it's great to see you.
Great to see you, Hádli.
Talk to me about peace negotiations. Where are we?
Well, I think Trump administration really is working hard to have the compromise that is needed. And, you know, we had really horrible time with Biden administration. We believe the source of the war is actually linked to Biden administration. But Trump administration is trying to figure things out, and we have made lots of progress. There is an understanding of what kind of security guarantees can be on the table. There is an understanding what Ukraine needs to do to have peace. So frankly, lots of those things need to be, already have been decided and have been outlined.
Yeah.
So frankly, it's up to Ukraine to accept what sort of suggestions have been made. And I think there is lots of work that has gone into this process. So frankly, it's actually advancing quite well. And we see some people who try to have the war continue, actually try to undermine this process with the US. Try to sort of sow seeds of doubt of is it going well,
Europe?
Credibility. We're talking about Europe, we're talking about UK, and we feel that they try to interject themselves in this process.
Yeah.
Frankly, try to derail this process.
They're trying
but
to
the
do
process
that now.
is going well.
They're trying to do that now in the sense that they're trying to put pressure on Russia to come to the table, the Europeans. Do you think that they'll have any traction?
Well, I think they try to follow a wrong approach, because pressure on Russia never works.
Yeah. Are you even talking to the Europeans about this?
They try to approach us in different ways, but again, there is pragmatic forces in Europe and less pragmatic forces in Europe. So, for example, yesterday we met with a great gentleman who is vice chairman of AfD, which is the most popular party in Germany. And they understand that economically, Germany needs Russian gas, Germany needs Russian energy. So there are pragmatic forces. But frankly, there are also bureaucrats who try to undermine negotiating process by suggesting pressure on Russia, things that do not work. And Russia has never really succumbed to pressure. And frankly, the best approach is just how do we really have a compromise? And we believe eventually Europe will become part of the process, but it needs to be in a positive way. And it cannot be based on ultimatums, and it has to be done in a very constructive manner.
So you're not talking to the Europeans directly right now?
Well, I would say different Europeans approach Russia and suggest that they become part of negotiations. But again, we have our diplomatic team that is dealing with lots of those discussions, etc. I would say the most constructive dialogue definitely is with Trump administration.
With the Trump administration. Tell me this, the Strait of Hormuz, the impact on Russia today in terms of those oil prices. Obviously, higher oil prices good for Russia, but not necessarily long term.
I think the world needs stability. The world is tired of unpredictability. So Russia has always been constructive force. President Putin has suggested that Russia can play an important role in addressing the Iranian crisis. So frankly, Russia wants stability in the region. Yes, it's good for oil prices, and we believe oil prices, are at a level that is, attractive to Russia. But it cannot be done at the expense of unpredictability in the markets. And also, I think Europe will be really hit significantly through this crisis by higher oil and gas prices in Europe. So Europe starts to recognize it needs Russian energy. Many people approach us to try to restore and sort of resume Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 that were blown up. So I think people who are consumers of energy, countries who are consumers of energy and who have not diversified, are the biggest victim of the energy tsunami that is going to start hitting those countries in June, July.
And tell me this, final question. When you think about this a bit more broadly, obviously the Trump administration has talked about peace and achieving peace between Russia and Ukraine. In your terms, a timeline, are you optimistic that this is something that will get done in the near term?
Well, even our leaders do not give the timeline, so I will not be presumptuous to give a timeline. I would just confirm what has been said also by the leaders. So it's up to Ukraine now to basically understanding what the conditions for peace can be, to accept it. And if they accept it, it will really shorten the timeline. And I think we are very much on the same page with the US, what those conditions are.
So economic stability in Russia directly tied to the end of this conflict. There are two schools of thought. One that, we're talking about not just the war with Ukraine, but potentially a long-term conflict with the West. And the other school of thought seems to be that this war needs to end and that Russia can move on from this. Where do you stand?
Well, I would say Russia has dealt very well with all of the different uncertainties. Many people believe Russian economy would not do so well. Russia showed significant growth, so it's very resilient. And frankly, we see lots of false narratives. Oh, Russian economy is not doing so well, and that means that Russia has to be more flexible. No, those are fake, false narratives. Russia economy is doing reasonably well, definitely better than European and UK economies. And basically, Russia wants a reasonable solution. Russia wants peace. It's up to Ukraine to sort of start thinking in peace terms instead of provocation and instead of really escalation.
Kirill, it's great to see you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much,
joining me.
Hadley. Thank you so much.